Hey guys, this is Ray with Double R Diesel. Welcome back to the channel. And guys, there is a lot of stuff going on right now, and it is a fast moving and fluid situation. And if you've been keeping up with things, you know the big news. So the EPA has released a proposal, and this proposed rule would be the reconsideration of the 2009 Endangerment Finding and greenhouse emission vehicle standards. So, what does this mean? Well, if you dive down and look at the situation and you read the proposal, I'll actually put a link back to the EPA's website in the description of this video. And in that link, you'll find some redirects, some other links that'll give you the actual proposed documentation that goes along with this, and you can read it if you can find the time. It is quite lengthy. Basically, you'll scroll down and you'll see a link for the red line version of the EPA's proposed regulations for the reconsideration of 2009 endangerment finding. That's a PDF. You can download it, look at it. It is hundreds of pages long. Basically, it spells out what's going to be stricken from the federal code or the laws that are in place. And if you look at it in any kind of detail, you'll see they have cut massive amount of regulations in this proposal. Now, if you go through there and try to piece it all together, what's left, it really doesn't make a lot of sense because they're cutting out so much stuff that it basically leaves the rest that's still there in limbo. So this is massive. It's going to require a lot of things to be rewritten. But in my opinion, I see a light, a legal light at the end of the tunnel if this proposal goes through and is signed into law that would allow us to legally delete the emissions off our diesel vehicles in certain circumstances. I don't see specific language that spells it out so far that would cover each and every situation that would allow us to delete trucks, period, no matter the age or the mileage, nor do I see the wordage that would basically give the green light for manufacturers to build vehicles without any emissions control systems on them whatsoever, brand new from the factory. I don't see that. Now, it could work out that way. Who knows? That would be, quite 180. But anyway, I do see the possibility of legally being able to delete our trucks in the future under circumstances. So why do I say that? Well, if you go look at this red line version of the EPA's proposed regulations for the reconsideration of the endangerment finding, you can find a lot of stuff in there, but particularly on page 294. Now, this is specifically dealing with heavy duty, basically semi trucks, but you could see how this would trickle down and probably be the same for light, medium duty as well. If you look at 294, page 294 on this document, it shows a section here, 1037.655, post-useful life vehicle modifications. Now, the law as it's written right now says, under this, general vehicle modifications during and after the useful life are presumed to violate Section 42 of the federal code. It gives you the code 7522A3A, involving removing or rendering inoperative any emission control device installed to comply with requirements of Part 1037. This section specifies vehicle modifications that occur certain circumstances after the vehicle reaches the end of its regulatory useful life. The EPA may require a higher burden of proof, blah, blah, blah. All this is, see, it's written in red if you look at it, and it's got a strike through mark through it. So basically, all this is going to be thrown out. So basically, what the law says now, that even at the end of a useful life period for the emission systems on a heavy duty truck, you can't remove it. You still got to keep it in place and maintain it. But this is stricken out in the proposal. So with the proposed regulations, this will all be bye-bye, gone. So With that said, I think it would be the same for light medium duty. So if this is taken out of the federal law, then you've got an opportunity here to delete the emission systems off your truck after at least the useful life period, or basically the warranty period in some cases. So guys, I think this is a step in a direction that we've all hoped for. The key statement here, and let me back up, I should title this video stating deletes are not legal yet. And that's right, deletes are not legal yet. Nothing has changed yet. But with this proposal, it very well could change and make deletes legal under certain circumstances, at least. Who knows? Now here's the thing. There's several YouTubers talking about it, and one of them in particular has, give some reality about it. Another one basically just says, oh, we're free to delete. I told you so. This was going to happen. That's not the case yet. So what has happened? This has been proposed. Now, this proposal sits under basically a 45-day period in which you might say it's going to be cooled down, heated up, chewed up, spit out, whatever you want to call it. Basically, there's a 45-day period, which we're under right now, since it was proposed, starting the day it was proposed last week, or actually, I think it dates back to, last week. 45 days that the public can actually go on the EPA's website, and I'll give a link to that, in which you can submit a public written comment, or you could participate in a virtual public hearing, which is dated, I think, 2 opportunities for the virtual public hearing, August 19th and 20th. The written comments have to be submitted by September 15th, and like I said, I'll give you a link to which you can do that. I would challenge you guys to at least submit a written comment stating why you would like to see this passed. Obviously, there may be some of you that would be opposed to it. Is what it is there. But there's opportunity during this 45-day period for people to make their comments heard and known. Also, during this 45-day period, there's time for the opposition to build up an opposition. Because I can promise you this, after this 45-day period is over with, I think that the Environmental Protection Agency, through executive action, which Donald Trump would support and sign, will pass this and strike and do away with the endangerment finding. And all this would become law. But I think at that moment in time, if and when that happens, you're going to see injunctions by federal judges. You're going to see lawsuits filed by environmental groups. You're just going to see a big old stink if and when that happens. And it's going to put everything on hold. So after 45 days, this thing could become reality, but then it'll probably hit a big old brick wall. And then it'll have to be challenged in court. This, that, and the other. And eventually, probably what would happen, this whole thing would end up at the Supreme Court for them to decide. So basically all this would work under executive action, but it'll end up probably being decided at the Supreme Court would be my guess. Who knows? Time will tell. But guys, regardless, this is huge news. It is, an answered prayer for some of us, myself included, possibly, but we shall see. But in the meantime, go on the EPA's website, read about how you can submit your comment, make your comments heard and known. There's no risk of you putting your information out there through their submission process, so you can make your petitions known. I challenge you to do it. Have it done by September the 15th, and we shall see where this goes. But guys, once again, I'm very excited. Maybe, by the end of the year, we could legally be able to delete your truck. So in the meantime, hang tight, guys. If you watch the movie Braveheart, it's an old movie. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Remember, there's a part where the character played by Mel Gibson, they were about to start the battle, and he was telling them to hold tight, guys, because you're going to see some shops go ahead and say, we're offering this for sale, but these are probably shops you don't want to do business with. So wait till this thing plays out. Wait for legitimate folks like ourselves and others to be able to do this legally. And maybe, just maybe, guys, in time, we will be able to offer delete tuning and services for your truck. So in the meantime, hang tight. I will post updates when they become available, and I can understand more what's going on as it happens. But as always, guys, thank you for following along. God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you again real soon.